Live again. Hey people. Hey, have to do my check, Facebook. How y'all doing today? Welcome to a Saturday special edition. I just want to touch on something real quick. About this the AC Cardoza thing up in the General Assembly and Louise Lucas, you know, shouting off her mouth, as usual. You know how she goes. Definitely, just shouting out her mouth a little bit. So I'm just going to check and see if my live is working on Facebook. Hopefully, you guys can hear. All right, there it is. We're going to make this public. All right, here we go. All right, so we should be good now. Everything. So again, how y'all doing on Saturday afternoon? And I hope everything is going good. Had a couple of meetings today. I got a big Zoom meeting tonight with the Moors tonight, but let y'all know how that go. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day, good Saturday, and I just want to touch on something. I'm going to read something in a minute. All right, I know Facebook. It takes a long time for Facebook to put out my notifications, so I'm going to wait for a minute, just to see who all comes on. All right, so I know we got 10 so far, so that's a good thing. Good thing on a Saturday, right? Good thing on a Saturday. I'm actually in here doing thank you cards. Thank you cards to donors. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't do just a form letter where you just sign your name. All right. I don't do that. So I actually fill them out myself and send them. So I got called this morning. I won't mention any names, okay, as far as this goes. I won't mention this. But people are reaching out for help. And what I mean for help is that because the General Assembly, they don't really have anybody up there to battle like a Louise Lucas, you know? Um, Same thing in like the Congress, Congress, as a Republican, we don't really have many people to go against the squad or go against really the Democrat Party in the way that we need to. Okay, so a couple of us down here have been getting calls, texts, and some things. You see what's going on, but like I said, I'm behind. AC Cordoza. I think what happened to him was not right. Okay, and I don't know why my comments aren't showing up on here. If there are any comments, I can't see them right now. But here we go. I'm gonna read what Louise Lucas said about the Cordoza thing. All right, then we'll touch on her because I mean, Louise Lucas, she got her hand. She in Portsmouth. She has a community pretty much wrapped around her hands. And you see what's going on in Portsmouth. Portsmouth used to be a great community, but Portsmouth has some bad leadership in the state. So this is what Louise Lucas said. And this is straight from her. So this isn't from anybody else. She's the Senate's president pro tempore. And so she questioned why Cordoza should seek to join the caucus. Okay. And she says, quote, this is a quote, "We seem to have nothing in common," she said. You're both black, you're both Asiatic. I was talking to a brother today. Asiatic is a good term, Asiatic, because that's where a lot of people of our color come from. That were here in America prior to the Civil War. And he said, "Why would you want to be part of a group?" I guess she's saying this. Why would you want to be part of a group where there's going to be controversy? Because you don't have the same values, you don't have the same vision for policy. I don't get it. So that's what Louise Lucas says to about Cordoza and to Cordoza. Hey, Yvonne, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So my response to, I mean, just to say, my response to Louise Lucas would be, well, first of all, you're black, okay. First of all, I mean, I'm sure AC Cardoza has the same. He lives in Hampton. I'm sure he has the same um, reasons for running and same for representing the black people of Hampton that you do of Portsmouth. You know, I'm sure he wants black kids to have good education. I'm sure he wants them to live in safe neighborhoods. I would hope that's what you want as well. You know, I'm sure he doesn't like um, black teenagers getting gunned down and black people getting killed every single night in the Hampton Roads area of Newport News, Hampton, Portsmouth. I'm sure he wants that to stop. Don't you, Louise? Don't you want that to stop? I'm sure he wants strong families. Those are values. What are your values? So how can you say you don't have the same values? Have you even sat down and talked to that brother? Is my question. Have you even sat down and had a one-on-one with that brother to even see what his value? How are you going to question his values? And how are you going to say he doesn't have the same vision for policy? What is your vision for policy? Because last time I checked, Portsmouth was a shithole. Excuse my language, and no offense to the people in Portsmouth. No offense. But there's some bad things going on in Portsmouth, in your district there, Louise Lucas. So I don't get it. I don't get what you're saying, that you have nothing in common. I don't get that, there's going to be a controversy. Well, why does there have to be a controversy? There has to be a controversy because of you, because of your liberal stances. You'll be a controversy because you won't even sit down and take this brother in to see what he's trying to say, to see what he's trying to do. You guys denied him access to your caucus. So you don't know what he may bring to the table because you haven't had the time to sit down. And that there is the controversy. That there is the problem within itself, because you feel like you're too high and mighty and too great to hear what this young man has to say. And I call him young man because he's younger than me, but he has some great ideas for the community and for the state if you would sit down and listen. See, but this is why I try to explain to people what the real deal is about, people like Louise Lucas. Okay, you guys have to understand and work with me on this a little bit. So see, because when Democrats, they don't think about race literally. Okay, Democrats like Louise Lucas. Okay, they don't really think about race literally. They only think about it as a tool, and only as a tool. The Democrats, let's say like Clarence Thomas, to the Democrats, and these are to black Democrats and white racist liberal Democrats. See, to people like Clarence Thomas, people like myself, people like AC Cardoza, people like, you know, uh, Tim Scott, okay? People like that, we're literally not black to them. We're literally not black. But however, if you take someone like a Bill Clinton, right? Remember when they used to say Bill Clinton was the first black president? They consider Bill Clinton literally black, and I use him because that's the first thing popped in my mind because they used to say Bill Clinton is the first black president of the United States. I see. What you have to understand is, and communist Democrats, race is not a function of biology to them, okay, or a socioeconomic background. See, and people don't understand that they're not even really talking about race. That's why this Black Caucus. They call themselves the Black Caucus, but they're so misguided, they don't even understand who they are. But this is why they wouldn't take in AC Cardoza, because they're not talking about race. Okay, they're talking about politics. Okay, they're talking about politics, and when they're talking about politics, they're really talking about power. Okay, because they're not using the term race anywhere closely to objectively. Because if they would, there would not be a reason why they wouldn't bring this brother into the Black Caucus. And like Louise Lucas said, well, we don't have nothing in common. We don't have anything in common. But let me give you another example. Let's look at that 1619 project. The Nicole Hannah Jones, the New York Times chief, whatever, right? All right. So when they were talking to her back, a few months ago, she slipped up and she pretty much showed her true self. So she's a bully, she's a liar. And so in last summer, she deleted some of her tweets, all right? But she said that there's a difference between being racially Black and politically Black. And this is why Joe Biden says, if you don't know the difference between voting between me and Trump, then you ain't Black. See, he wasn't talking about racially Black, he was talking about politically Black. Politically Black. And so when they say Black, they're talking about having Black politics per se. Okay, they don't really care about Black people, because if they did care about Black people, AC Cardozo would be would be admitted into the Black Caucus. Byron Donalds, that sits in Congress now, would have been admitted to the Black Caucus in Congress. So here's one thing that they care about, and you're only gonna get this here. See, and this is why y'all need people like me to go to Congress, because my opponents cannot break this down for you guys like this. Okay, because they have to understand being literally Black and politically Black. Okay, see, I just happen to be both. Okay, and politically for everybody. See, but I can go politically Black and literal Black and Black for everybody, to where I can take care of everybody, to where I can break down, to where I understand. See, because you have to understand, this is an ideology. And this is why people text and call it, hey, can you, help us talk, take care of Louise Lucas. See, but this is an ideology. And truthfully, most Republicans, most white Republicans, they don't understand the ideology of the Democrats. Most Black Republicans don't understand the ideology of the Democrats, because if they did, they understand. I said this the other night, that the Democrats play for keeps. This is a blood sport, and they're not talking about race. They're talking about politics, and they use every single color to their advantage, or race to their advantage, and they exploit it when necessary. Okay, so they only really care about exploiting victim status. That's the victim culture. That's this. It goes into the CRT thing. Okay, victim politics, and they only use that to control Black people, the racial Black people that they really don't care about, but they use them to control Black people for their politics. And because if they really cared about Black people, I remember the Clarence Thomas documentary, it got canceled during Black History Month. Clarence Thomas, a Black man who went through hell to sit on the Supreme Court, to be nominated, to be confirmed to the Supreme Court, had to go through a political lynching, as he would call it, to even be confirmed. And that was by Joe Biden, the president, or the person, I don't consider him the president, that says that I'm not Black because I don't know the difference between him and Trump. So they canceled the Clarence Thomas documentary during Black History Month last year. This was last year, not this year. Okay, so you have let's say like Kanye West. Kanye West put on the MAGA hat, and they say he's crazy, right? They say he's mentally ill. He's not Black because he has a Trump hat on. Like they really care about Kanye West. But what it is, see, this is what Louise Lucas and this Black Caucus did. This is a pure power play. Okay, and it's on the part. This is Marxism. This is Marxist communist Democrats pulling a power play. And so these so-called black allies, and they keep trying to claim that they're the ones who care about the experiences of blacks, when they really don't. When all they're doing is using race to get and keep power. Okay, and so you have these Democrats, I call them Marxist communists now, really. That's what the Democrat Party is now. They basically say to blacks, what do I need to tell you or say to you to get you to do what I want to do? What do I need to tell you or say to you to get your vote so I can stay in power? Right? Here's the funny thing. They don't care about the hypocrisy. They don't care about it. Look at what Lucas said. Look at what Louise Lucas said. I was reading a thing from my manager, but she said that they don't have anything in common. She doesn't know why. Hold on, I'm sorry. She doesn't know why he would want to sit on the caucus because they don't have the same policy, right? No, I'm not gonna do that. It's really weird. Okay, and so sorry, I got a little distracted. So why does he want to be in a group? Because they don't have the same values, they don't have the same vision. So they don't care about the hypocrisy. It's blatant. They do it and it's blatant, and they know what they're doing. The very fact that when they say this, they put blacks into a pigeonhole type thing, a feature, of their approach. This isn't a buzzword. This isn't words, but they don't see their hypocrisy. They really don't. They don't see their hypocrisy as a problem with their approach. But we have so many Republicans sitting around saying, look at these hypocrites, right? Look at these hypocrites, but they really can't do nothing about it. And the fact of the matter is the Democrats, they don't even care if you call them out as hypocrites. Now, I think Louise Lucas and these commie Democrats, I think they really get off on being called hypocrites and using our morals as Republicans, as conservatives, to pretty much rough us over, put us in a box, put us in a corner, right? Put us in our place. But I think they do this on purpose. I think they create the contradictions on purpose, and I think they're creating this new battlefield. To be honest, you know, uh, I think they do it on purpose. I think they see it as rampant asymmetrical hypocrisy, and they do it on purpose. And I think asymmetry is their goal. Okay, if you understand what I'm saying on that, and say so. Democrats, especially during the last couple of years, they've been trying to create this new reality where no one really knows what's going on anymore, right? That people that really don't believe in the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, no one even know what's real. Okay, they tell you, a boy ain't a boy, a girl's not a girl. They tell you that he and she don't count. They tell you it's more than two genders, right? They confuse our kids. They tell the white kids that it's your fault that the black kids can't learn as good as you, and tell the black kids you're too dumb to learn like the white kids, and it's the white kids' fault. See, but I'm gonna tell you something. All right, so calling out the hypocrisy is really, really, I don't think what we should be doing. And I'm gonna tell you, trust me on this one, okay? We got to so here's what we need to do, okay? Not only do we need to call out the hypocrisy, but everybody needs to flat out reject that paradigm. Okay, we need to flat out reject it. Reject all this wokeness. Reject the Louise Lucases, communists. And stop focusing on the race thing. Okay, and I know AC could, and it is a race thing with them, right? But don't forget, race to them is power. So what we need to do, we need to get back as a whole. Okay, we need to understand. We need to put people we need to elect people that understands this and that can fight these fights and these battles. Okay, we need to get back to character. We need to get back to the true conservative character, the Christian character that we have. And you need to stipulate it, and I know we need to sound it off from the mountaintops louder and proudly, okay, who we are. Okay, who we are. And we need to defend. You can't just sit in a corner. I I've talked to a lot of donors and I've heard this from a lot of white men. White men, not just not even as many white women, but white men has said this to me, right? And this is what the Democrat, communists, the Marxists, the wokeness has done to the white men and some white women. But I noticed the white women, conservative women, speak out more than the white men do. And here's why. I've been told that by these white men, influential white men that give me donations to my campaign, that it's going to be black people like me, black men like me that's going to save America because white men are too scared to step up and speak out because they don't want to be called racist. They don't want to be called bigots. They don't want to be called all of these names that they get called. So they get shut down. And this isn't drum saying, this is truly from white men, right? And so, I mean, just imagine if Trump or Republican said, if you ain't black, or if you don't know the difference between myself and Joe Biden or whatever, then you ain't black. Imagine if a white Republican said that, or you ain't white enough. That's truly a lame way of thinking. But they use race again to put blacks and whites into this Democrat chain gang type, right? They put you in prison, and I think it's time for Republican blacks. It's time for Republican whites to break free of these chains that they got y'all in. Everybody know me. I'm not in no chains. I say what I'm gonna say, regardless of the fact. These Democrats and the critical theory practitioners, they don't care about character either. You have to understand that. They want to destroy character, they want to destroy the nuclear family, and that's how they get ultimate power. When they take away who you are. When they take away who you are. Louise Lucas in this Black Caucus tried to take away who AC Cardoza is as a black human being. They tried to strip that away from him and tell him, you're not black because you can't be one of us. And really, what it all comes down to is fighting for the family, fighting for the human race, fighting for the family. And this is a cultural war. You know, I believe this is definitely a cultural war, and we're getting our butts kicked because we're sitting in a corner whining. Not me per se, but just what I was just talking about, right? Phone calls that I talk, these conversations that I have, sitting in a corner whining and constantly stand on defense, stand on defense, right? And so, I'm in football, as a football coach, I'm an offense coordinator primarily. So I like to stay on offense. Okay. If you ever notice, I'm never on defense. Never on defense. I remember when Vicky Manning on the school board, we talked at the very beginning when she was starting to take on this critical race theory and starting to take on all this stuff. I said, Vicky, they're gonna come after you. I said, they're gonna come after you. And she was like, well, I know. And I told her, look, stay on offense. Stay on offense. Once they get you on defense, once they get you back on your heels, then they got you, they control you. Stay on offense. So it's really time, y'all, for us to stay on offense. It's time for us to fight for our families, our black families, white families, Asian families, Latin families, whatever. It's time to start fighting for this conservative family. And there's let me see if I can remember it. There's this Thomas Sowell quote, and it says something like on the lines of, At least after slavery, blacks looked to reunite their families. After 50 years of Democrat rule in our cities, blacks don't even do that anymore. And that's true because I was talking to a brother this morning. I was talking about how we used to take care of our families, how CPS back in the day, CPS didn't come into black homes because there was no need to, because we took care of our own kids, right? We need to go back to taking care of our own kids. We need to go back to our nuclear families. We need to go back to, what's worked for centuries, villages taking care of kids. And the point to what Thomas Sowell was saying is that the Democrat rule, and you see what's happening, the Democrat rules have been even more harmful than slavery in a lot of our communities. And you see what's happening now in the United States with Democrat rule, and so we need to, get rid of these fatherless homes. We need to have daddies back in the homes. We need to, get back to these families and stop having these broken families and bringing up kids the right way. And we need to get rid of, this new communist paradigm, that they've put into our country. We have a major, major problem. And here it is. Now, I share something with y'all too, and I won't mention the name, but I had said something on Breitbart and put something in it, and it's in print. And basically, I was saying that we need to bring back the HUAC, and that's the committees that investigate communism. Okay, that was back in Congress, right? And I said something about Joe McCarthy. Everybody know Joe McCarthy was a racist. Everybody know that Joe McCarthy wasn't good for America. But I said there's one thing. I said he got a bad rap, right? I said Joe McCarthy got a bad rap, and the rap that I was talking about is that Joe McCarthy was right about communism, rearing its ugly head, and communism infiltrating in the highest levels of our government. Joe McCarthy was a bad man, and I don't like Joe McCarthy by his racist vision and issues, but on communism, Joe McCarthy was right. So we really need to get back to this is get back to investigating, having committees investigating these Marxists and these communists that's in the United States, because we are not a communist country. So that's what I really want to talk about today, about, yeah, this Louise Lucas thing, because it sort of, got me a certain way, because this black woman gonna tell this black man that we don't have anything in common, and she won't even sit down and talk to him. I'm going there. She's an East Coast, Maxine Waters. Yeah. Hey, Kim. What's up, Stephen? David, Karan. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check the chat because I turned the chat off so I can really get my thoughts out. Had a lot on my mind today. Because yeah, that's true. They definitely not. Okay, so but anyway, I know this was a special Saturday. I just put this together real quick. I know people aren't home. People may watch it, anything, but we need to go on offense. And if we have people that's running in these races, you guys really need to think about who can go on offense the best, who can win these races and fight against what we see now. The demographics and everything has changed, because you guys have to understand, like I say, the Democrats, like I just explained to y'all, they use race and for power, and they use it in a way to where they put certain people in corners and paint you in a corner and put you there whining. While all the time you're trying to come out of the corner talking about, I'm not racist, I'm not a racist. They got you on defense. And I know I have members of the Republican Party of Virginia Beach. They ask me all the time, how can we get more minorities, black people, to come to the meetings, to come over to the Republican Party? All I say this is that you have candidates running that can do that. You have candidates running that can spread this umbrella of the Republican Party greater than it's ever been in the Virginia Beach, Suffolk, these areas where we need to expand and expand the umbrella. Certain people ain't gonna be able to do it. Only certain people will, and y'all can, you know. But these people are qualified. These people are qualified to do it. The answers are standing right in front of you sometimes. The answers to your questions are right in front of you, as long as they're qualified. Okay, definitely must be a qualified person. I believe that everyone running in the second district, because I don't know everyone running in the third. I know people running the third, Madison Downs and them guys. I know they're qualified. People running. It's up to you if you want to send people in these positions that's going to fight for the collective. For the whole, and they can fight and will fight and know how to fight these battles and understand the ideology and won't go sit in a corner when you get called a racist or a Jew hater or homophobe or, you know, coon, house Negro, whatever, right? So it's a war. We're in a war, and it's definitely a cultural war. And you don't send people that only have spitballs in a cultural war. You better send people that have some major weaponry into a cultural war like we're in right now. Or we will be communists soon. This country will go into Marxism, and you see what they're doing with the borders. They're bringing them in by the millions, bringing them in by the millions, and they don't care. They're doing it blatantly. Like I said, they don't care about the hypocrisy. They're blatant with their hypocrisy. We have to be better. We can't be mad at Joe Biden and the rhino Lindsey Graham when he says he's going to back Joe Biden because it's time for a black woman, and they're gonna, nominate a black woman, and Lindsey Graham say, yeah, he'll go along with a black woman nominee for Supreme Court just because she's black. And we can't allow our candidates and our people just to say they deserve to be just because they're women or black. Okay. So, hey, Tony, what's up, brother? Shane, Rich. Yeah. Me and Tony Wright used to be stationed together back in Atlanta. That's my buddy. One of my chief brothers. One of my chief brothers. No, man, Rich, we're not gonna let it split it, man, because we're gonna correct this in 2022. As long as we put the right people in there that can do it. If you put the wrong people in there because of selfish reasons, because they're your friends, because you may not like what the other candidate has to say, even though it might be the truth or whatever, you do it for selfish reasons, you're gonna have America worse than we have now. Worse than we have now because everybody's not gonna go fight. You can look at their voting. If they represent you now, look at their voting record. Okay? Look at their voting record. If their voting record disagrees with your values and disagrees with, because I read something and then, I'm not going to hit on it today. I'm going to hit on that another time. But I feel like this. If you take a test, right? And out of 100 and you consistently and you get 80% on a test, and what's that, a B minus? That's right around a C or a B minus, right? So if you're at 80%, And let's say we turn that 80% into politics. Let's say you have a representative that, and I've heard people say, well, I agree with them 80%. I agree with them 75% of the time. 75% of what they have to say, I agree with. So that's okay with me. To me, I need to agree with my elected official because I believe they hold my values because that's why I elected them. I believe they hold my principles dearly because that's why I elected them. I believe they're a lot like me. That's why we elect people, right? And so if someone votes differently than I would vote 20% of the time, that's a bad representation. That's bad representation, especially if those 20% of those votes are detrimental to the safety and the cause of your values and your principles. Not just because they're your friend. If that was my friend, I'd be like, dude, I'm voting. Yeah, well, what are you doing? You got to go, partner. You got to go. You better be 90%, 95%, and nobody's going to be 100%. I get it. I understand that, right? You can explain that 5%. You might can explain that 5. You might can even explain 10%. But if you're in the 20% range, you're in the 25% range off of my principles and my values, you can no longer represent me, period. And I will hope that goes for a lot of you. If you're settling on being 75% with your elected official and they voting 25% against your principles, and that's okay with you, that's why we have America the way it is right now. That's why we have America the way it is right now because we're settling for people that have voted against our values and our principles 20% of the time. They voted against us. And when they vote against you, they're voting with the other party, by the way, right? They're voting with the other party, by the way. So if you're a Republican and your elected official has voted 20% against you, they're voting 20% with the Democrats, which means they pretty much gave the Democrats everything they wanted, which means that we're probably under some laws that we don't want, but we are, and our representatives may have helped the Democrats get there. The Democrats play for keep. They're not giving nothing back. You gotta take it. You have to take it. Yeah, that's right, Kim. True. Facts. Facts. That was the Democrats, not the Republicans. You need to check out the history. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I read some stuff from some of our elected officials that say it's okay if your representative, if you only agree with your representative 80% of the time. You guys let me know if that's okay. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I think I want to agree with my representative 90 to 95 to 98% of the time because you know what? When you're that close, I know they're representing my values. I know they're representing my principles. I know they're taking care of me as my representative because they're voting the way that I would have voted. If you drive your car 10 times and you get in an accident twice out of every 10 times, what is that? What is that? You might die. You definitely gonna have high car insurance. You probably won't have no car, right? If you go play in traffic 10 times and you only get hit twice, is that good? So I don't understand that logic. I understand why it was said. I understand why they're doing it. Like I said, I won't mention any names right now. Republican Party of Virginia Beach chairman. Trying to convince people that being wrong 20% of the time is okay. Okay. If that's fine, if that's okay with you guys, then America is doomed. If you're okay with your elected official that represent you, your values and your principles going against what you want 20% of the time, you're going to have the America that you want. And this is the America that we have right now. So, all right, you guys be cool. Peace. I said I wasn't going to be on here long. So, you guys take care. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll probably see you next week. And so I'm checking with my schedule, about to have some more events and get some signatures signed. If you haven't signed if you live in the second district and you haven't signed the petition yet, get with Kim Shorts. Here's her email. Let her know. Right? Hold on. Banner. There you go. If you want to help, because we're going to have a couple of petition signing events. If you want to help us do some events and petition signing events, we want to wait till the weather, want to wait till it get a little, less frothy, but we're about to get out there, start next week again. We're definitely at the meetings. But if you want to help, if you want to go door knocking and get some petitions signed, if you want to participate and help with these petition sign events, if you have not signed the petition and you live in District 2, there's Kim's email. Email her. Okay, it's going across the screen. Email her and let her know. I want to sign a petition. I want to help get petitions signed. If you want to help get petitions signed, there's a procedure. You have to go through a small training. Kim has that to make sure everything goes good. Okay. So if you want to do that, let us know. And we appreciate it. Okay. So just contact Kim. So God bless all y'all. Hey, Vic. Appreciate you. Okay. So, hey, I love y'all. Peace. Like I say, let's go on offense. Okay. If your representative is not going on offense, real offense, then it can't be your representative. Big Woody's, General Booth, 7 o'clock tonight. Big Woody's, 7 o'clock tonight. Hey, Denise. Yeah, watch it. Watch Denise. Watch the one from yesterday, too, or day before yesterday, too. Thanks for coming in. Okay, got to go. I'm about to sneeze. Talk to you later. All right. Peace.